Well, India clinches its ninth Asia Cup title and we get Harsh back. Harsh, welcome back home.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, but fabulous match. It was great fun watching.
You stayed up.
I did stay up.
Because it wasn't going anywhere up until I think 11 p.m.
I switched off the TV till the 18th over.
Okay.
And when I saw 130 and you need 17 more runs, then I switched on the TV. Because I
But then it was a done deal.
Yeah, I mean, it was still okay. I mean, Tilak played a very good inning. Then you had Shivam Dubey coming in, and then Rinku finishing it off with a 4. He played only one ball in the entire tournament, and that was a 4. So
yeah, but at one point we were 113 for 1, which was Pakistan, and it really looked nervy out there.
Yeah, it was. I thought they were going to hit 400.
It was a mega thriller that everyone wants from an India-Pakistan match.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and guess we need some of that energy for the markets as well, given how last week has been, and what a vicious Thursday, Friday. I mean, not that there wasn't DII support, but look at the quantum of the FIIs selling that we've seen, and that's kind of telling you that the poison may not be out of the system, even though the GIFT Nifty is indicating a little bit of a rebound this morning.
True. If you look at the FII numbers, it's very, I would say, a little depressing because 5,600 crores on net sale on Friday itself, and for the entire week, it's around over 19,000 crores, which has been sold by FIIs. But DI has been equally buyers in the market with 19,500 crores. So you have good support coming in there, but the selling has been from IT, Pharma. These are the two sectors where we saw maximum fall over the last week. 7.8% Nifty, IT falling, and Pharma falling by 5.2%. And banks. And you tell us what's happening to the banks.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some jitters around the fact that there could be another repo cut, but it's all the FI pressure that's coming through. 30,000 crore is what FIs have sold this month alone, which is month to date. And DIs, of course, have correspondingly bought over 50,000 crore. So that's the only possible support or respite that's there currently where the markets are concerned, especially the way that's playing out. But banking, of course, when FIs sell, banks and IT are the key culprits.
The go-to. Yeah.
So I'm not surprised with the way banks have fared. But the PSU banking index doing okay.
They're doing better. There's been some re-rating for PSU banks actually.
But unfortunately, that was also short-lived because of Thursday, Friday's pass.
So despite the fact, they still
just when they took off, they were sold.
They still, I think, outperformed the private banks and the Nifty bank in that sense. And the valuation for the return on assets have almost closer to 1% for them as compared to private banks, which is 1.7, 1.8. But do you think PSU banks are much more geared going forward as compared to private banks as we go into the earnings season?
Well, surely they are, because there's been some bit of resilience where PSU banks' numbers are concerned. The 1% ROA is essentially the threshold which I think every PSU bank is aspiring for, which is solid, right? I mean, no one would have expected or anticipated that a couple of years back. So there's clearly some tailwind which is coming in there. Now, of course, the crucial question will be, can the numbers in Q2 really support the kind of returns we've seen from PSU banks over the last few months? That's really the question. And I believe that the consensus view, as it comes out and as it unravels over the next few days, all the preview notes will start coming through, will likely be that, yes, there will be earnings sustainability, and that will hopefully continue to support valuations where PSU banks are concerned.
And the proof was in the numbers. I mean, look at how some of these key indexes have performed through last week. I mean, the IT index alone saw a crack of about almost 8% come by. You had the realty index down about 6%. Pharma took a knock of about almost 5%. Defense was also down 4%. I mean, so much for defense being the hot and the go-to sector. But no, at an index level, it was down about almost 4%. And banks as well lost about 2%. Of course, we'll talk about as to the kind of musical chairs that's going on in banks in greater details. But yeah, the FNO set up, Sajid, and that's clearly telling you that the poison may not be out of the system just yet.
Yes, the thing is that you have an expiry coming up tomorrow for the NSE Nifty, and that's something going to be keenly watched out for the reason that Nifty 50 has seen a 50% rollover happening. Nifty Bank has also seen that happening. So 50% rollover. Normally what we see in the market is that on an monthly expiry day, you will have roughly around 65 to 70% of expiry for the index. So you're going to have that 15% of rollover happening over today and tomorrow, and that's going to be something to watch out for. Open interest positions from the FI point of view, it's been a little encouraging in the sense that there could be some kind of short covering that can come in, because the rollover hasn't been so much at 50%, it's standing there. So if I just to give you some numbers, the Nifty Bank saw nearly 2,000 crores of open interest position going up by the FIs over Thursday and Friday, and the Nifty saw nearly 2,900 crores of open interest going up for the FIs in those 2 days alone. So there is a position build-up which is happening in the Nifty and the Nifty Bank by the foreign investors. And if you look at how it's panning out for the Nifty, 24,500 is turning out to be a good support for the Nifty, with the top coming at 25,000.
So what's happening on the FII open interest unwind? Is that happening to some extent, or is that not happening at all? Are shorts still strong in the system? The last I read, it was 80% plus even now. I mean, of course, the highs were 90% plus, so there's been some bit of unwind.
So the FI longs are around 14.5%.
Right.
So we have shorts of 85%. It has come off. It has gone up from 7.5% odd, which was a long. So we are still at better off in terms of longs if you look at it from that point of view. But if you look at the entire thing, there is a marginal poise for short covering expected, because there will be the positions in the current month, which is September month, which will be unwinded over today and tomorrow. So that unwinding is going to happen there, because what happens is that when you do a rollover, you are basically closing out your position. So if you have an open position, to close out here and open a fresh position there. And we've seen fresh positions being opened in the next month, but nearly 50% of the positions are still there in the September month. So that positions have to be closed out before Tuesday. So that's going to be something interesting to watch out for.
And for the FIs, I guess, to cover the shorts and such sizable ones, you've got to have a big trigger. The market is hoping it's actually only the US-India trade deal that could act as that one push point, perhaps. Because even if you look at the Qs this week, I don't think they're meaningful enough for the market or the FIIs per se to actually change their trajectory. Today you've got the IIP data. The MPC meet as well begins today with, of course, the decision out in 2 days, but nothing really anticipated from there. Largely, it's a status quo that the street is anticipating. And like Sajid highlighted, you've got the monthly expiry, the Nifty expiry, that is, you've got the fiscal deficit number. Yes, there is one perhaps silver lining, if you can call it that, October 1st, and you'll have the auto sales numbers as well trickle in. The street was anticipating that post GST, the big hurrah is really going to come in from the auto sector. At least the stock prices have seemed to be factored that in. So we will, of course, in the due course of the show, highlight more on what the macro trends and what the high frequency data is actually indicating. Auto sales, of course, are going to be quite critical at that. And then, of course, you'll have the weekly sensex expiry. It's a truncated week. You'll have the Shera as well, combined with Gandhi Jayanti, and then, of course, the Forex numbers as well. Even on the global front, nothing meaningful really. Yes, on October 1st, you'll have the global manufacturing PMI, the auto sales coming out from the UK, the S&P global manufacturing data as well. And yes, the US GDP on September 30th, that perhaps is going to be a little bit more critical, and the initial jobless claims as well to follow through during the course of the week.